Seeing that the ripple effect of the insecurity has trickled down to, as some would describe, our backyard. As we're seeing events being postponed in order to, well, not endanger the lives of participants and to also be in solidarity with the general mood of the nation that has become Nigeria, with the rising concerns about the spate of insecurity. Now, one of the biggest events that was supposed to take place in Enugu State, the Nafest, has been postponed by the organizers because of the insecurity in the country. And joining us now to tell us more about it is Obi Asika, who is the Director General and CEO of the National Council for Arts and Culture, NCAC. Thank you so much, sir, for joining the program this morning. And I don't even know how to say this. Can I just apologize for what has happened? Because I know that a lot of work went into preparing for this. We understand that things were already on ground, and then it was impossible for it to go on. So I don't know how to express our deepest sympathy and apology at this point. And thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's certainly difficult for all of us who are involved in the ecosystem and all the states that already made it into Enugu. There are already 13 states plus in Enugu, plus the FCT. And with their delegations, some of the delegations were enormous. I think Yobe had 270 delegates. River State was 220. So, we had a lot of people excited to be there, to be involved, to get engaged in what we believe would have been the biggest Nafest held so far. The Nafest is Nigeria's Cultural Olympics, where we come together and celebrate our culture, diversity, but also the connected culture of Nigeria. And this has been something that it's our biggest platform within the NCAC. So of course for us, it's a massive blow, but we're confident that we'll be back with Nafest in Enugu within the next 4 to 6 months. I know that the governor was 200% ready. The commissioner was 200% ready. The people were ready. We had a pre-summit in September in Enugu that went very, very well. And everybody was ready to go. It was a few hours to go when the decision came through. And, we understand 200% why that decision is being made. And of course, we're fully aligned and in solidarity with everybody going through difficulties at this time. But, our sector is about upliftment. Our sector is about inspiration. Our sector is about hope. And, we have the power within our sector to do a lot of things, to give a lot of people some level of inspiration at this time. So I think we'll be back soon. And it's just a pity, actually, because, these are things that happen that are beyond your control.
Okay, we're back soon, right? Could you be specific? Probably be looking at maybe weeks, months, and also, what do you have to say to individuals who already made it to Enugu State before the big disappointing announcement?
Well, first of all, to anybody who made it there, my apologies. All the states that already made it there, you can imagine their delegations, but I'm happy to report today that everybody's also made it back safely back to their various locations. And that's what's really important to us. So just thank everybody for their support, our partners, both in the public sector, the private sector, development partners. And actually what I think is that, I can't make any firm statements because the Nafest process is not an individual process. It's not NCAC just by itself. We have a forum called the Chief Executive of Culture, which is constituted of the permanent secretaries, the state directors, and the commissioners in all 36 states, plus the FCT, which is chaired by NCAC. We have that whole constituency where we have to come together and agree the next dates with the present host. We have the host states, which is Enugu. We have the National Economic Council, the National Governors Forum. So there's a bunch of things that we have to, resolve within. But I would say to you that, a time that doesn't look like a bad time to me is like Easter, the week of Easter 2026. It gives us enough time to reboot, for the partners to be recalibrated, and for the states to be ready to go. Because obviously we know that December is going to be very, very packed. Everybody has loaded schedules already.
That's going to be so expensive. I mean, one would think, okay, then if it's going to happen in around Easter in 2026, that means that, but the banners will still read 2025, right? We'll still have Nafest 2025, although it may be in 2026, right?
I believe so, yes. I think so. I mean, we're going to make it as easy as possible for everybody who's involved and invested. The truth of the matter is some of those conversations are premature from our side because we're still sort of in the process of post-mortem, and that's going to happen with all the stakeholders I've already mentioned, plus the ministry that supervises us, other arms of government. So find the right time together for everybody to be happy for this to go forward.
All right. Now, because this is driven majorly by the state of insecurity in Nigeria, what do you have to say about what is happening right now that has even led you and, of course, the ministry to make that decision to postpone this till further notice? What do you have to say about the state of security?
Well, I think really I mean, it's not our remit, so I'm not too sure I'm going to be commenting on that. But what I would say is, we wish all Nigerians the best to be safe and secure. There's nothing more important than being safe and secure in your own environment, to be able to go everywhere, do whatever you want to do. I think there are many narratives that come out of Nigeria. One of the great narratives that comes out of Nigeria is this week, 4,000 plus delegates moved across Nigeria, thousands of kilometers across 30 states to converge in Enugu. They all arrived safely. They've all gotten home safely, and they're all safe. So that's a different kind of narrative. That's the kind of thing we want to see more of and hear more of. And they were coming together. We had 100 horses in Enugu from Katsina, sent by the grace of his governor, His Excellency the Governor of Katsina, to present a durbar to the governor and his VIPs and all the audience at the opening ceremony, which would have been on Saturday. Just another show of connected culture. So the truth of the matter is, I think, we can frame narratives how we want to frame them. We all live here, and we know that we generally continue to live regardless of the insecurity and the things that happen around us, which I think is the way to go. I think you must always be sensitive about things that are happening, whether it's different types of violence or crime, let me put it like that. But at the same time, it's important that society continues to run, continues to do what it does, because that's the best way to deal with crime and terror. It's to show that you're not being distracted, to stop everything that you do because of that.
Okay. So let's look at a recent article that seemed to make the rounds just yesterday evening. Quite a shocker for many people who basically felt compelled by the earlier statement of the ministry to go ahead and move this event. Now, a recent article written by one Frank Meke and shared on a site called African Gong has, of course, raised concerns. The writer is asking, is this truly about protecting lives or about shielding institutions from embarrassment? Is it national security or administrative failings wrapped in official jargon? Now, the claims portrayed in the article are as follows. He's saying that federal funding for Nafest was reportedly approved only on paper without cash backing. He's also accusing, this writer, Frank says that the Enugu State Local Organizing Committee was battling internal disorganization and late fund release, adding that vendors had not been fully mobilized until late Thursday night, and of course that made key preparations to lag behind the schedule. Quite a shocker, but I want to know your response to the claims made by this Mr. Frank.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm not going to be commenting on anybody's claims. I think it's easy to point fingers, but when people are being involved in actual operations, it's very, very different. The truth of the matter is there are always challenges with funding when it comes to events of this nature. The fact of when that funding becomes available sometimes, is something that we all deal with, but it's not something that we come out here and start discussing or having to complain about, because it's just a reality of where we are. I think that the truth of the matter, again, is that they were actually ready. Enugu was ready. Everybody was there. We were good to go. So it's not about that. The situation is clear. It's about the state of the nation, actually, and being respectful of that mood, so that you don't project an idea that somehow you're celebrating while so many people are in pain or have other concerns. And I think that's perfectly fine as well. So I wouldn't like to further that line of conversation. I think it's disrespectful to the mood of the nation and to actually the work that's already been put in by all the parties.
Right, and we understand that things were already on ground. How would you rate the preparation of the local organizing committee? Because this writer came hard on them as if he were following up with them on a daily basis. How would you rate the activities, the preparations by the LOC that was set up by the state government?
Oh, well, for us, we're perfectly happy with that. We had two senior members of our management team from Nigeria, from the Enugu office as part of the LOC. And we'll get regular updates. I speak every day almost to the commissioner and the executive secretary. So, we share, these things are shared responsibilities. It's not a finger pointing exercise. I don't think we're here to, we will run our postmortems with them and with ourselves and with our superiors as well. But the truth of the matter is we're not here to do that. And certainly this is not the medium or the place to do that.
All right. What will be your final remark as we strive to keep the hope alive for Nafest 2025, whenever it may be, possibly, like you said, Easter 2026?
Oh, no, I think first of all, I'm happy that the energy was high, the enthusiasm was high with all the states that were in Enugu already. Everybody had such a good time there in September. Everybody was looking forward to having a great time in Enugu as a gateway to Dirty December. I like to keep that energy going. We're on that lane. We're on a positive lane. We're building. This is about the soft power, about the culture, about the cultural Olympics of Nigeria. And I think in many ways we'll be back bigger and better. And we'll be back in Enugu as well. And I think it will be Nafest 2025 in terms of branding, in terms of communication, but it might happen in the next 3-4 months.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time this morning. And we do look forward to this colorful festival coming our way to Enugu. Thank you once again. And it's still going to be in Enugu, right?
Oh, 200%. I think the governor said it himself. The commissioner said it. Enugu, the thing I like about Enugu is that they said to us, and we saw it ourselves, that Enugu was ready today. Even when we came in May or July, Enugu was ready today. It's not that we have to go and build venues or locations. And we saw it ourselves, so the world, Nigeria knows, and we're going to make sure the world knows.
Thank you.
Because
all right.
That's our job.
Thank you so much, Obi Asika. We're out of time. Thank you once again for making our time to share this information, as communication is key. And we will try our best, of course, as partners, to keep the hope alive ahead of Nafest 2025. Thank you once again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. The morning show has come to an end. On behalf of the entire production team of the morning show here on Afia TV, thank you so much for watching. I remain Nathalie Uku.
And I remain OG Nwachuku. Have a splendid Monday and a week ahead. Bye for now.